Test. Test 1 2. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Creole, and welcome to Untwisting the Game Crypto, where we discuss all things Bitcoin, Polkadot, and Cardano, NFTs, and the metaverse. And you are tuned into the Bitcoin weekly candle close. All right, as we watch Bitcoin's chart, I have a really good agenda for you today. As always, I'm going to discuss the Bitcoin and crypto news across the cryptosphere this past week. That's going to pertain to U.S. regulations and politics, institutional news. A lot coming out this past week. There has been some hacks and bugs I'll discuss. Then we'll cover the world crypto news and end the wire off with NFTs and the metaverse news from the past week. And I am going to review with you the Binance BTC order book map. Because if you've been following this channel for a while, you know that the market is driven by the market makers. The market makers are who? The pioneers of the industry. These are the heavy bag holders, okay? It's not the banks, it's not retail, it's not governments, and it's not YouTube influencers. We are not financial advisors, but we realize our words carry weight. At times, there may be something we miss or something we just get wrong, so always do your own research. And thank you for those tuned in. I see you, Black Curls, Pothead BTC. Yeah, sound is working this time. Thank you for that. We're going to blame that one on Michelle. But I will go back and redub that video for everyone. I discussed the Purism Librem 14 laptop, the most secure laptop in all of the world. Ish, what's up? I see you in the comments. This is live, right? Yes, I am live, and I'm glad you brought that up, Ish. Usually I go live about 30 minutes before the Bitcoin weekly candle closes. but I'm still on the old time, right? I should have went live an hour ago. I still have 6:30 Central Time put in the YouTube video, so I'm an hour late, but we're just gonna rock with it. A lot of good news to cover. Coolin', yo, what's up, my man? When ISO. You're gonna have to ask Michelle about that. Dr. Crypto, I see you in the chat. Yo, what's up? And Dr. Crypto, I'm glad you joined. There is going to be a project that I cover in the agenda today that I've been working with Dr. Crypto on. Not the project itself, but gaining some exposure to. So up on the agenda, I'm going to briefly discuss the news from U.S. regulations and politics, institutional news, hacks and bugs, world and crypto news, NFTs in the metaverse. Then I'm going to review the top 10 coins by market cap. I'm going to review every last one of the top 10 for you. A lot of news in the week this past week. And up on the agenda, we have 2022 institutional outlook. Hey, when I say adoption is around the corner, get ready for even more Bitcoin and other exotic ETFs moving into 2022. During that segment, I'm going to play a clip from the head of Fidelity Digital Assets. I'm going to review Stacks and CityCoins. I've been traveling quite a bit the past couple of days, or actually past couple of weeks. I was lucky enough to join a couple of Bitcoin conferences, small scale, and some Stacks and CityCoin panels. And I'm going to play you a clip. I was actually in San Diego this past week, and I got a chance to ask a question about Stacks and Miami Coin to a panel of attorneys, crypto attorneys. So definitely stay tuned for that. Then finally on the segment, I am going to discuss Theopetra. It is a new project running on Ethereum and Stacks, and it is a self-paying mortgage protocol. Yes, you heard that right. A self-paying mortgage protocol. And finally, I'm going to wrap up the evening with the Bitcoin Idiot of the Week. I'm pretty sure a lot of you know who it is. Okay, and this week's candle has already closed at $53.90. We're just going to keep an eye on this weekly candle for now and see if we will go a little bit higher. Crawford, I see you in the chat. Hey, what's up, my man? Thank you for joining. And I am going to go ahead and move into some crypto news in regards to U.S. regulations and politics. As we all know, 6 of the crypto world's top executives testified before the House of Financial Services this past week in defense of cryptocurrencies and blockchain innovation. The takeaway here is that the CEOs told U.S. lawmakers about the challenges the companies faced as both stablecoin issuers and digital asset exchanges. The CEOs request Congress provide regulatory clarity at the hearing on digital assets. And actually, this particular congressional hearing, these CEOs seem to receive a warm welcome. So I think the United States congressional body is starting to warm up to the idea that cryptocurrency is here to stay. And we need, as Americans, as the United States of America, to keep in front of the technology. All right, more news when it comes to U.S. regulations and politics. President Joe Biden targets crypto in a new anti-corruption strategy. This past week, the Biden administration published the United States Strategy on Countering Corruption. The document defined a government-wide approach to corruption under 5 pillars, specifically under Pillar 3, which is about holding corrupt actors accountable, targets cryptocurrencies with a new Department of Justice task force. The document said the DOJ will utilize a newly established task force, the National cryptocurrency enforcement team to focus specifically on complex investigations and prosecutions of criminal misuses of cryptocurrencies. Hey, if you are a criminal and you're using Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, stop. They're going to track you. And Bitcoin has dipped back below $50,000. Let's go back to more news when it pertains to U.S. regulations and politics. On Friday, a Fox Business Network senior correspondent tweeted that the SEC is now arguing it has not officially declared BTC and Ethereum compliant cryptos. According to a testimony in the SEC versus Ripple, it appears to be a 180 from not just Bill Hinman's speech, but the regulatory approach of former chair Jay Clayton. Interesting, and there is a lot of talk in the cryptocurrency space right now that if the SEC wins this Ripple case, they're going to go after Ethereum next, because everyone knows Ethereum is an unregistered security. All right, more news in U.S. politics. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis proposes creating a cryptocurrency payment system for state fees. The governor's, quote, Freedom First budget suggests creating a department in Florida to accept state fees in cryptocurrencies. DeSantis said, or he wrote in the budget proposal, quote, Florida encourages cryptocurrency as a means of commerce and furthering Florida's attractiveness to businesses and economic growth. More adoption. And on Thursday, he was in Tallahassee. He said in a speech, quote, our view as the state government is this, that we welcome and we want to make sure that the state government is crypto friendly. We're going to see this play out more and more. Governments are going to get on board with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin specifically. All right.
I see the way it goes with closed eyes. I flip the coin, it lands on both sides. Where are my choices and I knows dive into that anytime it's no time.
One more piece of news when it deals with the SEC. WisdomTree this past week amended and resubmitted its Bitcoin ETF application. According to a filing on Wednesday, the fund group names U.S. Bank as custodian of its proposed trust after a December 1st SEC rejection. A company announcement noted that the custody services are intended for institutional investment managers with private funds, that's the big money now, in the U.S. or Cayman Islands who would like to secure their Bitcoin.
Calm down, shout out, sanity. No, we be holding it down like gravity. So wavy, I'm rebuilding the galaxy. And you know that I did it with the family. I got gold for the criticized mastery.
All right, let's kind of speed it up here. We're going to move a little forward to the institutional news. Crypto firm Nexo is partnering with Fidelity Digital Assets to boost institutional access to digital assets by offering custodial and lending services. Nexo has processed more than $50 billion for 2.5 million users across more than 200 jurisdictions. Fidelity Investments, which had a total discretionary asset available to them of $4.3 trillion as the end of September. The partnership will offer an additional custody layer to Nexo's security infrastructure. It allows institutional investors who currently custody their digital assets with Fidelity Digital Assets access to Nexo's products and services.
Chance of anything, so the plans of developing, it's in the hands of endeavoring. Sounds easy. When I think, then I expand on how elements are embedded in your essence, pure blessing, threaded in every string and theory, wavy with a vibration. Vex about any violation. X amount, what did I mention? Energies forever the
More on the institutional home front. On Tuesday, Amazon Web Services experienced an outage in its key U.S. East 1 region that affected numerous websites from Disney Plus to Vice's own back end, as well as Amazon's warehouse operations. Caught in the crossfire was DYDX, a so-called decentralized exchange on Ethereum for cryptocurrency derivatives. The outage also hit centralized crypto exchanges like Coinbase and Binance.us, both of which experienced disruptions. Hey, if you're listening to this and you have the majority of your cryptocurrency on a centralized exchange, get it off, right? Not your keys, not your cheese. Ledger in the news this past week. Wallet maker Ledger launches crypto-linked debit card for US and EU customers. Ledger, best known for its suite of hardware wallets, is launching a crypto debit card called the Crypto Life Card. The company announced this past Thursday. Card users will be able to pay cryptocurrencies to more than 50 million retailers and online stores, Ledger said in the press release. More adoption. Visa in the news this past week. Visa, major institutional player now in the cryptocurrency space, is establishing a whole new crypto division. This week, a Visa survey indicated that almost 40% of cryptocurrency owners would probably switch their primary bank to one that makes cryptocurrency-related products available. Hey, and I'm one of them, right? If you are very friendly to cryptocurrency as a U.S. bank, my ears are open. The messaging services WhatsApp said this week it is piloting a new feature that allows U.S. customers and users to send money without paying fees using cryptocurrency. The crypto feature will be powered by Novi, a recently launched digital wallet owned by WhatsApp parent company Meta, or Facebook as we all know. The company began testing the product 6 weeks ago among a select group of users in Guatemala and the U.S. in a joint tweeted on Wednesday. WhatsApp CEO stated, quote, "People use WhatsApp to coordinate sending money to loved ones, and now Novi will help them do that securely, instantly, and with no fees." More cryptocurrency adoption. You see what's going on? All right, some news about hacks and bugs this past week. Windows software pirates are losing their Bitcoin to Cryptbot malware. According to a security research firm, Red Canary, infections of systems with the well-known Cryptbot malware have been traced back to a fake KMS Pico installer. This is a tool used by software pirates to activate the full features of Microsoft Windows and Office products without owning the license key. So if you're out there downloading illegal music or illegal software, stop it, okay? Because this Cryptbot, it was so extensive that it was tracking people's keystrokes and figuring out passwords, and it includes the projects of Electrum, Monero, Exodus, and Ledger Live, as well as other applications as web-based browsers, including Google Chrome, Mozilla Fox, and Brave and Opera. All right, I'm gonna move on to the world crypto news. All right, crypto is rising rapidly in Brazil. This is the second or third week I've talked about Brazil. They've been all in the news recently. Brazil considers zero tax on green Bitcoin mining. The condition for the zero tax is that mining is carried out in a form of renewable energy sources. The CEO of Author Mining, a company focused on digital asset mining, says that if the zero rate law is passed, Brazil could become a Bitcoin mining mecca in the new world. Looks like we're still red. I'm going to go to the daily chart right here. Get there. Okay, we're just going to stay on the weekly here. Let me move on with some more world crypto news. South Africa in the news. South Africa's financial regulator is planning to unveil a regulatory framework covering cryptocurrencies early next year. The introduction of regulations follows two major crypto scams that originated in South Africa, both of which led to disappearances of billions of dollars in investments. The FSCA commissioner said in an interview on Friday, quote, "I think that if I were to give advice to retail investors, I would say wait to see what comes out of the process of the work of the central bank." You probably don't want to wait for that, right? You already have access to Bitcoin. You don't need to wait. UK has been in the news this past week. Crypto awareness in UK is the second highest in Europe, according to new data from Coinbase. 66% of UK adults are familiar with crypto, in second place behind Spain, where 80% of consumers are familiar with digital cryptocurrencies, according to a survey of 8,000 customers across Europe.
I'm sorry for taking up so much of your time. By the way, what are you doing tonight?
Australia all over the news this past week. Australian women owning crypto has doubled in 2021. The 2021 Independent Reserves Cryptocurrency Index of 2,000 Australians found that a number of women who currently have had previously invested in cryptocurrency rose from 10.3% in 2020 to 20% in 2021. More Australian news. Australia is set to introduce a new regulatory framework for payments. You see this common theme throughout the entire world, right? Everyone is getting ready for central bank digital currencies and being able to interoperate with cryptocurrencies. Australia's Treasurer Josh Frydenberg called this the biggest overhaul of the country's payment infrastructure in 25 years. Japanese banks have been in the news this week. The Digital Currency Forum, DCF, a consortium of 74 Japanese banks and corporations, have launched a digital currency platform called the DCJPY, and they will release that in 2022. Now, this platform, by contrast to proof of work, will use a less energy-intensive consensus algorithm known as practical benzene fault tolerance, which is more suitable for a permissioned network since functions best with smaller number of nodes. And you know, I've been going back and forth with the logic fear a lot. This is why these central bank digital currencies are going to fail, because they're going to be centralized and they have a small number of nodes. They're going to go offline, right? They're going to get hacked. It's only a matter of time. Bitcoin has already won the race. All right, let me move on to my last piece of crypto news throughout the crypto sphere. NFTs and the metaverse. On Thursday, Pepsi announced its first ever brand NFT with Pepsi Mic Drop collection. Pepsi is creating 1,893 NFTs. This is special because it marks the year that Pepsi was incorporated, okay? And they're all going to be unique, generative style NFTs. They're going to be free for users. And then they say in the fine print, outside of the gas fees. So the gas fees may be, cost more than the NFT itself. So thank you for giving the NFT for us free. But the Pepsi Mic Drop wallet waitlist, it opened up Friday. But this coming Tuesday on December 14th at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, consumers who have been waitlisted will be able to mint these NFTs. For rules and regulations, terms and conditions, please visit micdrop.pepsi.com. Again, that's micdrop.pepsi.com. More NFT news this past week. A rare CryptoPunk sold for a record $10.2 million. And actually, that's not even the record. The record, I think, might have been $12 million at the Sotheby's auction. But anywho, someone purchased a rare CryptoPunk number 4156 for 2,500 Ethereum, worth more than $10.2 million as of publication. Now, on the Larva Labs native CryptoPunk marketplace, it's Rare Ape Punk, in which they are only 24 of these punks in a collection of 10,000. One last piece of NFT news I came across that was really interesting. If you've been following the Constitution DAO, it's a DAO that pulled funds, about $40 million in a couple days, to try to buy the U.S. Constitution. Well, they were outbid by Ken Griffin, right? He is the Citadel founder. He was interviewed this past week, and he admitted on Thursday that it was his son who told him to buy the U.S. Constitution. He said, quote, in this interview, "I was sitting at home in New York, and my son calls me to say, 'Dad, you have to buy the U.S. Constitution.'" But that's not the news, right? What the news is that this Griffin guy, he was actually in talks with the Constitution DAO before the end of the campaign, which is interesting. But then he tried to reach out to Constitution DAO again when he won the auction. But he says he wanted to try to arrange some type of joint governance structure for the document, including making a decision on where it would have been displayed. But he says ultimately we couldn't come to an agreement. What an evil billionaire, right? Who comes in and buys the U.S. Constitution and then tries to resell it back to the DAO? That's pretty insane, right? He's completely out of touch. All right. Here in a second, I'm going to move into the agenda of this episode, right? I am going to discuss the top 10 coins by market cap. I'm going to review a posting. It was really a document release, a study. It's a 2022 institutional outlook. It's a lot of good information in there that's going to kind of show you what institutions are thinking moving into 2022. Then I'm going to play a couple clips from hedge fund manager or the head of Fidelity Digital Assets. And then I'm going to play a clip from an event I went to this past week where I was able to ask a question about CityCoins and Stacks to a panel of attorneys. After that, we're going to discuss Theopetra, which is a self-paying mortgage protocol. Then I'm going to end the episode with the Bitcoin Idiot of the Week.
And that's to always keep the funk in everything I do.
So right now on your screen, I have pulled up the Clark Moody Bitcoin dashboard. Currently, the price of BTC is $49,570. Sats per dollar, 2017. All-time high price of Bitcoin is $69,010. We're at a 28% decline since that all-time high on November 10th. That's been 32 days since our all-time high. We are not in a bull market. I'm going to show you that. I'm sorry, we're not in a bear market. I'm going to show you that using a book mapping tool. It's free. I'm going to show you where to buy it or download it. And I'm going to show you how to read where the limit orders are. Important thing on this dashboard is the Lightning Network total capacity is ever increasing. 3,292 Bitcoin on top of the Lightning Network. Capacity volume is 163 million. Total nodes 18,586 and total channels 81,925. All right, I am about to pull up this book mapping tool here. So if you listen to my last Bitcoin weekly candle close, I pulled this, and actually it was 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. I pulled this tool up. This is the book map. You can download this tool for free at bookmap.com, and it shows you where all the limit orders are on the chart, okay? Specifically, I have Binance pulled up because that is the largest exchange. If you upgrade this, you can actually include Binance, Coinbase, KuCoin, Kraken, all of the major exchanges, and get it in one graph. But during that last video, I explained I anticipated a downturn because the book map was imbalanced, okay? So if you're looking at this, the red horizontal lines, this is where the majority of the orders are. And the market makers like to use these zones. They jump these zones to liquidate these orders. So right now, as we're looking at the book map, it is a little bit more balanced, but we can see there are quite a few Bitcoins at 48,000, even more Bitcoins at $51,000. So just looking at this, we can anticipate the market makers going towards the highest liquidity. So we may hit 51,000 this week, not financial advice. Let's use this tool to kind of back up a little bit. Okay, and we see even more orders. Okay, as we zoom out though, let's take a look at this. There's thick red lines around 46 and more red lines around 45. So, you know, do we have more downside? There's a lot of liquidity around 46, 45. Will the market makers manipulate the market to liquidate those orders and then come back up to fill the orders around 51, 52,000? We will see this week. Okay. And you know, everything I'm talking about regarding this book map, I learned from Traders Reality YouTube channel. Definitely go follow his channel. He breaks all of this information down, and he has been right the majority of the time, anticipating what direction the market makers will move the price of Bitcoin to liquidate orders. So it's looking like we may have some more downside before we go up. So don't freak out if we hit 46,000, okay? Don't sell your Bitcoin. All right, I have not been paying attention to the chat. Let me try to catch up. Okay, Ripple Rick, hey, what's up? Ripple Rick says, hey, Creole, what's up, everyone? Mally Mal, what's up, man? Deuces. Gene, love to see you in the chat. Crawford, 5% of the 4.3 trillion is 215 billion. That's right, Crawford. That's why I'm telling people in the Untwisting the Game community, the next evolution of money that's going to pile into cryptocurrency is not retail. It's going to be institutions. There's not enough regulatory clarity around Ethereum and DeFi and all these altcoins yet, right? So most of these institutional investors are going to pile into Bitcoin. So it's very practical to see Bitcoin's price double, in Q1 of next year once these institutions get their bearings and start dumping money into the cryptocurrency spot and futures ETFs. Hopefully the spot ETF for Bitcoin will be approved before the end of the year. Can you imagine?
Raindrops, drop top, smoking, no cooking, the hot box. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Cooking up dope in the car.
Harry Lum, hey, what's up, man? He says, evening, everyone. Ripple Rick, appreciate the love. Michelle URL, what's up, y'all? Hit that thumbs up. Ish, I see you in the comments. Harry Lime says, we're in a manipulated market. This is normal, right? Every market has market makers, right? Retail does not provide liquidity for the market makers. When the price is dropping, that means the market makers are in control. They're selling to you. The price won't drop unless the market maker steps in and provides liquidity to sell Bitcoin at certain prices. And when they're providing that liquidity, as the market is dropping, they're building their longs. This happens time and time over again. So, watching all these YouTubers with their technical analysis and their triangles and their Fibonacci's, none of that matters. The market makers are in control. Coin Hodler says, what's up? What's up, Coin Hodler? All right, let me go ahead and move into the top 10 crypto news. Give me a second. We came from nothing to something, nigga. I don't try nobody, good to trick. Nobody call up the gang and they come and get janked. Cry me a river, give you a tissue. Bad and bullshit, bad. Cooking up dope with a ooze. My niggas are savage, ruthless. We got 30s and 100 rounds too. My bitch is bad and bullshit, bad. Yeah, Crawford, you're right. Every market is manipulated. Swim with the whales. Yes, don't swim with retail. Right? You buy when there's blood in the streets, because that's what market makers are doing. You sell when there's euphoria. When you see those huge green candles, the market makers are building their shorts. It's all psychology. Okay, I have pulled up here the top 10 coins by market cap. As always, before I jump into the cryptocurrency top 10, I like to follow quite a few legacy financial institutions as far as their stocks. So let's review. This week, Apple closed at $2.94 trillion. That's up from last week. Microsoft, $2.57 trillion. Google, $1.97 trillion. Amazon, $1.75 trillion. Tesla, $1.02 trillion. Facebook is now Meta, 917 billion Square, which is now trading under the ticker Block, is 83 billion. Twitter, 36 billion. MicroStrategy, 6.2 billion. Now let's talk about the banks, the commercial banks. JP Morgan Chase closing in at 473 billion. Bank of America at 364 billion. Wells Fargo at 200 billion. Goldman Sachs, Flip Citigroup, 131 billion. Citigroup coming in at 120 billion. So if we look at those legacy financial banks, that rounds up to $1.3 trillion worth of market cap. If we look at Bitcoin right now, 945 billion. So we're, we flip the financial system as far as Bitcoin every other week, and we're down right now, right? So let's just kind of move into the news as far as the top 10 coins by crypto market cap. Bitcoin is king, and in my humble opinion, Bitcoin will always be king. Why? Because Bitcoin is playing a different game. It's trying to be world reserve money. It's not trying to be a utility token like Ethereum, Cardano, Polkadot, all these other tokens, right? There's no other crypto that comes close to being hard money. Divisible, durable, fungible, portable, scarce, verifiable, established history, and censorship resistant. So when we're talking about moving into this new digital age, Bitcoin is going to underpin all cryptocurrencies because Bitcoin is truth. Okay, let me stop preaching. Bitcoin news this past week on December 10th, the Bitcoin network registered an unwitnessed spike in its net hash rate. For the first time in Bitcoin's history, this indicator surpassed 181 EH per second. Briefly, it touched 190 EH per second. It thus exceeded the levels registered on the eve of the crypto mining back in China, which ended supremacy in the sphere in May of 2021. So Bitcoin lost 70%, 50% of its hash power, and it completely recovered and outperformed within 7 months. Let that sink in. More Bitcoin news. 11 years ago today, on December 12th, 2010, Satoshi Nakamoto left his final public message on Bitcoin forum. Now keep in mind, this is not his final message. There are some private emails that extend, I believe, to April of the next year. But anyway, in his final message to the Bitcoin community, he stressed that, quote, there's more work to do. And he was specifically talking about DOS attacks, denial of service. All right, Ethereum number 2, closing in at $4,053 right now with a market cap of $490 billion. Ethereum in the news. Ethereum gets another upgrade. This one's called Arrow Glacier. This is going to delay the difficulty bomb, and it's this difficulty bomb is pretty much it's a planned bomb that's going to exponentially increase the proof of work difficulty setting, and this is a way to force miners from stop using proof of work and moving to proof of stake. Yeah, that sounds really decentralized, right? Anyway, moving on. In Ethereum news, Ethereum miners outpaced Bitcoin this week. This is good news for Ethereum. In revenue growth for 7th straight month in November, according to the Block research released on Monday. Last month, Bitcoin miners earned $1.69 billion. That's a 2% decrease month over month, while Ethereum miners conversely saw revenue of $1.99 billion. That's an increase of 11.8% compared to October. Wow, that's a lot of money mining, right? And we can anticipate Ethereum miners kind of outpacing Bitcoin, because a lot of the miners that I know, they're focused on mining Ethereum right now because proof of work is going to end. So they're trying to get as much Ethereum as possible before that ends. And who knows when that's going to happen, right? We already know Ethereum 2.0 has been pushed back several months again. I believe that was a couple weeks ago. I may do a whole nother episode on that. All right, let me just try to pay attention to the chat this time. Harry Lime, what's up? Any thoughts on the graph GRT? Is that hash graph? Let me talk about that after I go through the news. I'm not too bullish on it, but I know the Logic Sphere has been talking about it, a lot of partnerships, but I don't know, it's centralized, you know? Hey, all the news that I've been talking about, worldwide politics, what's one common theme? they're about to go after stable coins, and they are about to go after these centralized protocols. Just keep that in mind. You know, if you want to play the altcoin casino, get in and get out. Let's move on to number 3, Binance Coin BNB, closing at $560 with a market cap of $95 billion. Binance has been in the news this week. Binance announced this week that net BNB collateral balance in the crypto loans will now count towards users' daily BNB balance. That's huge. Why? Because your daily balance, when you're using the Binance loans and the Binance DeFi, that snapshot is now going to include the BNB balance you have as collateral in those loans. That's going to be huge. So when we're looking at game theory, and I don't know if you're listening to Logic Sphere, but we're going to have a chat about this. We're going to box, we're going to debate or whatever. CBDCs aren't going to be able to compete. Do you think a central bank is going to allow you to add your collateral to your overall balance? The private sector is about to eat the government's lunch. They're not going to be able to compete or keep up with these products and services. Also, when we're talking about Binance loans adds collaterals, assets, Kusama, and Mana this past week. So again, more adoption, and governments are going to be they're not going to be able to keep up. Binance Custody pilots institutional grade cryptocurrency custody solution in Lithuania. Binance Custody provides institutional clients the ability to securely store digital assets. So Binance, their tentacles are all over the world. That's why they're the world's largest exchange, and they'll probably be like that for the foreseeable future. You okay? All right, let's move on to the number 4 cryptocurrency by market cap, Tether, coming in at 99 cents, $77 billion market cap. The news this week in Tether continues to mint money. Tether mints an additional $3 billion worth of USDT in the past 2 weeks. Tether now has $77 billion worth of coins in its supply, which also means that's about 2 times USDC. Did I do that right? Close. And again, there's always some Tether FUD out there about them printing money. It's really all FUD. Let me know in the chat if you get free USDT. Like they're just handing it out to you free. Not really. Okay, let's go to number 5, Solana here. Solana closing at $169.80 with a $53 billion market cap. Solana. Oh, again this week, there were reports that Solana once again suffered a DDoS attack that slowed down the network speed. However, I saw a tweet that kind of broke this down from the head of staking infrastructure at Rockway Blockchain Fund, and he pointed out a decent case here. It actually wasn't a DDoS attack. The story has been that it was going through the rounds this past week, but he laid out the case that he said, quote, "It's not a DDoS network attack as many said. The network hasn't lost consensus, neither halted. It just slowed down to 1,000 TPS on 4 occasions since December 9th. So Solana, right? The fast, cheap blockchain. You're fast and cheap because you're decentralized. Good luck with that. More Solana news. In an official blog post on Friday, December 10th, Opera announced a partnership with Solana Labs to add native support for their popular blockchain, allowing it to run a native Solana wallet along with all the dApps in the ecosystem. The Opera team said on Twitter that the integration is expected to be ready by Q1 of 2022. Hey, a lot of things are going to be dropping in Q1 of 22. All right, moving on to number 6, Cardano. Oh, still taking a beating at $1.32 with a market cap of $43 billion. Cardano has been in the news. The world's largest proof-of-stake cryptocurrency network, Cardano, has seen a significant uptick in the number of smart contracts written in its native programming language, Plutus. As highlighted by the Cardano Foundation on Twitter, the number of Plutus-based smart contracts on the Cardano blockchain has risen over 200% from just over 300 in the middle of November to presently approaching 1,000. So, you know, people love to say Cardano is a ghost chain, but there is a lot of development and activity happening behind the scenes. Cardano also in the news this week. The first ERC20 converter went live on Cardano testnet this past week. In this initial testnet version, users can move Singularity Net's token, which is AGIX, I believe, to Cardano and back to Ethereum via a bridge. The testnet is a working prototype and paves the way for the mainnet, which is a ready product. Okay, that's what's so different about Cardano and other projects. When they're doing testnets, they actually have the main version already ready. Mainnet is ready. The mainnet converter will be launched soon after, quote, the testnet, per the Singularity Net CEO. One more piece of Cardano news I wanted to point out. On December 6th, Cardano CEO Charles Hoskinson made a comment that they are already working on a process to make Cardano quantum resistant against attacks. Okay, he said, quote, the first thing you need to do is model the algorithms we have against the quantum adversary. We have started that process, but that's not in scope for the deliverables in 2022. However, the knowledge is there that people are there, and if it's a priority for the next 5 years of Cardano, it's something that can be done. Cardano's so forward thinking. All right, let's move on to number 7, USDC. $11 billion have been added to the stablecoin economy in the past 10 days. $11 billion in 10 days have been added to the stablecoin economy. Wow. USDC's market cap grew by a sizable amount, 19.5% during the last 30 days. That lets you know there's going to be a lot of money coming into cryptocurrency. These stablecoins are getting ready. The aggregate of USDT and USDC combined is 4.75% of the entire crypto economy. So I want you to really think about that. When you're reading Tether FUD, all stablecoins are only 4.75% of the entire cryptocurrency economy. So if Tether goes under, it's not going to crash the cryptocurrency industry. It's just not. It's math, right? And then I was reading on Twitter this past week, you know, I actually follow a lot of people that I call them my Tether fudsters. One of them is, I believe, Crypto Well. He mentioned that Tether printed $3 billion worth of Tether, and it's going to completely collapse Bitcoin. If you do the math on these things, again, do the math. $3 billion is what? 0.3% of Bitcoin's market cap? Let's just round up for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's market cap is $1 trillion. $3 billion does not affect Bitcoin. It's a rounding error. Got to do the math on this stuff.
Just me. And I ain't gonna tell you again. Let's get Ghost in the Phantom.
Okay, let's move on to number 8 here is XRP. XRP still consolidating below $1. Let's hope the bulls attempt to regroup for the Ripple army out there. XRP closed at 82 cents with a market cap of $40 billion. Hey, Ripple and the SEC actually came to an agreement this week. They both wanted to extend the expert discovery. Okay, now this cryptocurrency lawsuit of the century has really been quiet the past couple of weeks, leaving many to wonder what's going on and why Ripple Labs, what they're doing, right? So in some document disclosures submitted, both the SEC and Ripple agreed to extend this expert witness discovery by 3 days, right? So this expert final deposition was supposed to happen on January 16th. Let me do the math on that. 16th, it's now going to happen on January 19th. So this case continues to be drug out.
Sexy, sexy.
Let's move on to number 9, Polkadot. Polkadot closing at $28.84 with a $31 billion market cap. Hey, congratulations to the fourth parachain, or the third auction winner, Parallel Finance. The institutional grade lending protocol for DeFi, Parallel Finance, has won the fourth Polkadot parachain auction. The protocol saw support from over 30,000 contributors, which who all provided a total of $10.75 million. That's worth a whopping $306 million during the auction. So if we step back right now, just with all of the auctions that have happened, already 80 million Polkadot have been locked up for 2 years. All right. Also, in Polkadot news, if you missed this fireside chat, go watch it on YouTube. The Polkadot founder, Gavin York, did an interview with Edward Snowden. You can actually watch that on YouTube. Search for Blockdown 2021 conference. It was really good. That's your homework for the week. Decentralization is going to matter. All right, number 10, Terra. I believe this is Luna's first time in the top 10. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Terra becomes a top 10 crypto. Luna's token price climbed from $43 to $77 on December 5th, and that was a new all-time high. However, this week it closed at $61.56 with a market cap of $23 billion. Terra has actually been in the news this week. A Hong Kong VC firm called Chiron Partners raised $50 million to back Terra. Chiron announced on Wednesday that they will use the fund to invest in innovative projects built on the Terra ecosystem, such as DeFi applications and metaverse-linked NFT platforms. All right, let me check the chat out right quick. Looks like we're in the free and clear. I'm going to keep it moving. I'm going to move into the agenda today. Let me pull that up for you. All right. And again, I will go over the agenda. Let me let some pages load here. Got too many things going on. Let me go back to this book map. Okay. I got a new computer in, but I have not set it up yet, so this should be the last week I'm struggling with computers loading, so bear with me. We'll just jam out for a little bit. All right. Let me just let a couple more pages load. So up on the agenda today, I only have about 3 things I want to talk about. Then I'm going to move into the Bitcoin Idiot of the Week. Everyone should probably guess who it is this week. We had a congressional hearing, so it was a lot to choose from. But first, I do want to discuss with you a report that came out this week. You know I'm all about reports. Okay, here we go. So I was on crypto Twitter this past week, and I came across this tweet by Paul R. Monica. He's actually a CNN correspondent. He tweeted, ETFs were all the rage this year, and there probably will be a lot more in 2022. Expect more Bitcoin and other crypto funds, more international ETFs too, and the rise of active over passive index funds. My story on the ETF landscape is here, and I'll link this in the description, but you know me, you always got to go to the original source, so that's what I have pulled up here. And this is actually quite major. Let's just take our time and just go through this document. It's a 13-page document released by Nexo. Nexo is a this hedge fund investment company, and it's quite large. I forgot how many assets they have under management, but oh, here it is right here. Nexo is the second largest investment management firm in Europe and has over $1.4 trillion under management. So they released this report you see on your screen this past week, and let's just review it because there's a lot of good information in here, and it's called the what is it called? 2022 Institutional Outlook, and this is the executive overview. In positioning portfolios for the unknowns ahead in 2022, institutional teams are watching 5 key themes that will shape portfolio strategy. These 5 things are central banks. All right, they hold the keys to investment success. So that's the first bullet point. They're like, hey, whatever happens to us depends on what central banks do. Right? Are they going to keep printing money? Are they going to taper? What are they going to do? The second is the VID, right? VID is no longer the greatest threat to growth. I'm going to tell you what is their greatest threat to growth because they discuss it in this document. Next is the hunt for yield leads to alternatives. With inflation increasing at a very rapid pace, companies, corporations across the world are looking at their balance sheets and they're trying to keep up with inflation, so they are going to invest in riskier assets, and this report points that out. The next bullet point here is ESG, the environmental, social, and governance, presents a green field for investment opportunity. This is the common theme throughout the world, these ESG requirements, right? And then finally, navigating the 2022 will require an active strategy. No longer can we sit back as investors and just hold cash or hold bonds. We have to put it in the market to keep up with inflation. So about this survey, let me just skip down here. There were 500 total survey respondents, 157 corporate pension plans, 89 endowments and foundations, 100 public or government pension plans, 128 insurance companies, 22 sovereign wealth funds, and 4 central banks. So this is institutional money. This is trillions of dollars, right? This is the big money. This is not retail. Anyway, let's scroll down here to page, I believe it's 3. Yes. So, you know, they asked all 500 of the correspondents questions about their asset allocation changes. One thing that completely popped up here is alternative investments. So we do see a 53% increase, or 53% of those polled said they have increased their infrastructure alternative. Well, of course, we just passed the infrastructure bill. Private debt is up there, private equity. But look at this, cryptocurrency making the list. 28% of those 500 institutions say they're going to increase their cryptocurrency exposure. So when we're talking about institutional money, it's coming. It's going to increase, definitely. And so you have to look out for decentralized and already regulated projects like Bitcoin. All right, now I will leave this in the description. One thing I did want to point out is that the risk, and you see here, institutions, 69% of them say inflation is the #1 risk to their portfolio. This is good news for inflation hedges like Bitcoin. Everybody sees it coming. All right. So I'll leave that report. It's only 13 pages in the description. I'd at least take the time just to scan over it, just so it's some really good talking points in this document. Okay. Up next, kind of related to this institutional money, I am going to play a clip from this past week. His name is Chris Tyrer, and he is actually the head of Fidelity Digital Assets. And this interview actually occurred in Europe, and they were discussing the role of digital assets and how they'll play in institutional investment strategies. So let me pull that up for you now.
Now I have the distinct pleasure of talking to Chris Tyrer, the head of Fidelity Digital Assets in Europe. Chris, great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So, Chris, I know you have a long background at Barclays doing research into blockchain, but also a long career running their commodity desk. Tell us a little bit about that, and how did you catch the how do you catch the crypto bug? What's your journey?
Yeah, so I spent 17 years trading energy and managing energy trading businesses. I was running the commodities trading desk at Barclays, and this was in mid-17, and we were just starting to see the real pickup in digital asset prices. And I had been an investor in digital assets going back some years from a personal account perspective. And I went to the current head of FIC, fixed income, currencies, and commodities, and said, "Listen, what is our strategy within digital assets? I think it's, I think we ought to have one, and if we do, I'd like to know what it is." And the short answer was that there wasn't really a focus group looking at that point in time, which I felt was somewhat of a mistake. And so I raised my hand to start that project and ascertain really what an investment bank like Barclays Investment Bank should be doing in the space, what were the areas of opportunity, et cetera, et cetera. And so what became very apparent quite quickly is that this was really a full-time job. Like I couldn't, to do it justice, I really needed to convert full-time. And so this was something that I was relatively passionate about and decided to transition full-time over to run Barclays Digital Asset Project, which I did for about a year. And then I got speaking to, Fidelity. Fidelity have a very similar view on digital assets to myself. So fundamentally believe that crypto native assets such as Bitcoin will play a very prominent role in investment portfolios going forward, but are important assets for the world at large. But then equally, really believe that with blockchain, we are creating a new operating system for financial services.
Yes.
And so it was really the marriage of those two concepts and the fact that Fidelity really viewed this asset class and this technology in a very similar way to myself, made me really want to join. And so I joined 2.5 years ago to help build out the European business. Since then, we've set up a new entity. We've hired pretty aggressively across the region, and we're expanding our coverage.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, 2.5 years ago to now, it must have been absolutely explosive growth. What did it look like when you first started 2.5 years ago, and what does it look like now?
Good question.
Yeah, so I was employee number 1 in London, so it was a pretty lonely first couple of months. And really, it was about designing. Fidelity's very considerate about everything that they do. So it was designing, what should this business look like? Do we need a new client-facing entity? If so, what jurisdiction should that be in? This is in a pre-Brexit world, so what does post-Brexit mean? How does that impact the business decisions that we have in terms of the way that we want to structure this business? And so there was a lot of design work going into how do we build this out for a sustainable and long period of time.
Yeah.
And then really we transitioned then into implementation mode that was getting our entity in place, registering with the FSCA as a crypto asset business, et cetera, et cetera. And now I would say that we're deeply into the execution phase, and that is building up our presence, onboarding clients, developing the suite of products
Onboarding
and services that we
clients.
can extend to our clients, and really
Extending
helping drive
services.
this, the crypto conversation forward.
Yeah, and as you say.
Okay, so I mean, I just showed you a report. I just showed you a clip from this guy. Institutional money is coming, and one common theme that institutional money talks about is Bitcoin, right? So you can expect trillions of dollars to flow into Bitcoin first. Now, will some asset managers and some corporations kind of dibble with Ethereum or Polkadot or Solana? Yeah, that's going to happen. But nobody's going to bet their farm right now in the institutional space on altcoins. They're all focused on Bitcoin. So keep that in mind, all right? We can play the altcoin casino all we want, but Bitcoin is king, is king, is king. All right, and I'm going to pull up the next clip here, the next segment. I'm going to discuss some more about Stacks, which is a smart contract platform built on top of Bitcoin. And then I'm going to talk about Miami Coin, which is an extension of Stacks. Miami Coin is built on top of Stacks, and they use the same proof of transfer protocol. So I wanted to bring this to your attention. I was able to ask some questions to a couple different panels in Miami and San Diego this past 2 weeks. And I actually got my wife to record me asking a question to this panel. So this is Bitcoin and Open Blockchain. It was about 100 people there in the office of Edge. Okay, Edge is a wallet. They put this event on. It was this past Tuesday. And the clip I'm about to play, I had the chance to ask a question to these three lovely ladies here from Crypto Connect. Okay, all three of these ladies are cryptocurrency attorneys. And I know at least two of them have been cryptocurrency attorneys since 2013. So you can imagine the breadth of knowledge and wisdom that they brought to this panel. But the question I asked, it kind of threw them off. I'm just going to play the clip. I'm not going to actually play the video. If you saw the facial expressions, it would add a complete another dimension to it. But let's just play the clip, and I'm going to talk about it.
I mean, Ripple, whatever. Yeah,
Hello.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, ladies, so much for your time. I just had a quick question for you. I was actually at the Miami Coin event this past week, and this past week I didn't get a chance to ask this question to the panel. It may be better for you all. So Miami Coin is built on top of Stacks. Stacks is a smart contract on top of Bitcoin. Stacks had the first digital token with the SEC approved offering. Does that mean everything built on top of Stacks would also be quote-unquote SEC approved?
I would not take that position, and I'm shaking my head in
We're all
part
gonna
because so the only tokens that the SEC has said they do not think are securities are Bitcoin and Ethereum, and pretty much everyone they've gone after since as securities has been built on top of Ethereum. So while they're able to say maybe Ethereum was a security when it was first offered, but we think it's sufficiently decentralized, now its value is no longer derived from a single team, it's derived from this broader group of teams and group of people building on it. So you can no longer find that like single point of its values derived from this group, the efforts of these others. Almost every other enforcement action that they've taken to date has been from a project that is built on top of Ethereum.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. So, I had to go back. I'm like, I did ask that question correctly, right? And I did. I think they just kind of misheard the question. So I'm going to repeat the question that I asked, and then I'm going to show you evidence of what I'm talking about here. So I asked, and it sounds like they didn't know this, all right? These are three experienced attorneys in cryptocurrency, and they did not know that Stacks had the first SEC-approved offering. That is a fact, okay? If you look here, I've got an article pulled up. Blockstack became the first company to receive approval from the SEC to sell digital tokens known as stacks, STX, okay? And that was back in 2019. And let me go here. I have the form SEC form pulled up here. It's a Form 1K. And yes, they did submit an annual report pursuant to Regulation A. So under SEC's Regulation A exemption, Blockstack's IPO raised $23 million. However, in the introduction of Blockstack's Blockchain 2.0 in January of 2021, Stacks tokens can be traded by U.S. investors on U.S. digital asset exchanges because Blockstack's network will no longer be controlled by a single entity. So let me explain that, and let me kind of explain what they thought I said. Okay, so I believe what they think I believe what they thought I said was Stacks is not a security. That's not the case, because if you look at the documents, it definitely was a security back in 2019, okay? 2019, I'm a security. I am SEC approved as a security. The offering has been accepted by the SEC, and Blockstacks is filing annual reports here, okay? So it is true that Blockstack became the first company to receive an approval as a security. Okay, but if we look in, let me move forward here. Look at this post by Manib, who is the creator and CEO of Stacks and Hyro. This was posted January 21st, 2021. And it says, Stacks cryptocurrency no longer treated as a U.S. security by Blockstacks PBC. So let me just explain. Let me read it and then I'll explain a little bit more. Hyro PBC, which was formerly Blockstack PBC, filed a Form IU report with the SEC yesterday that summarizes the successful adoption of Stacks blockchain by independent miners and the board approval of management's determination to no longer treat the Stacks cryptocurrency as a security under U.S. federal security laws. He goes on to say, based on the analysis set forth by the memorandum and summarized by the summary, we believe that following the adoption of Stacks blockchain 2.0, trading platforms may permit U.S. persons to trade Stacks tokens without the trading platform being required to register as an exchange or alternative trading system. The mining of Stacks tokens and the Stacks blockchain 2.0 should be permitted, and Stacks tokens should be freely tradable because Stacks tokens should no longer be securities. And here is the filing. Here's the filing. Again, this was January 20th, 2021. This is Hyro Systems saying, hey, we're raising our hands. Hey, SEC, we're no longer a security. We're sufficiently decentralized. Now, this is where the cookie crumble stopped for me, because I don't know if the SEC approved this this change, right? I don't know if the SEC still views Stacks as a security, but the company does not, and they say they're sufficiently decentralized. So I'm going to do some more research on the back end about that, but I thought it was very interesting. But the takeaway from the panel, and I cut it short before one of the attorneys said this, is that, hey, the SEC views all tokens as securities. They view everything as securities. That even means Ethereum. So it's interesting, this past week we see in the news where the SEC is backpedaling, saying, hey, we haven't said yet that Ethereum is not a security or not officially. So again, after this Ripple case, they are going to go after Ethereum. Bet that. Ethereum is an unregistered security. And we already know Bitcoin is not a security because it was sufficiently decentralized before this immaculate conception, right? Required it not to be a security because nobody thought they were going to make money off of it, right? Satoshi did not have a token offering sale. You can mine it at will, and it was sufficiently decentralized from the beginning. So Bitcoin is not going to be considered a security here. So again, you know, everyone in the chat that's saying, talk about this coin, talk about that coin, they're all securities, bruh. So at some point in time in the near future, the SEC is going to come a knocking like they did Ripple. They're going to go after Ethereum. They're going to go after every project. So again, that's why Bitcoin is your safest set for long-term value. And I'm going to preach that until the day I die. Let me go to the chat here. Black Curl says, we're at their mercy. Yes, we are. Harry Lime, inflation is good for crypto. And Black Curl says, crypto is good for inflation. Tomato, tomato. That's true. Black Curl says, don't get ahead of yourself, Creole. Hey, I mean, I'm just reading the facts. I'm reading the facts, right? And these attorneys who have been in the space for 7-8 years. And let me tell you one thing. Let me back up a little bit, just to explain how early we are to the Stacks ecosystem. So it appeared none of the attorneys were familiar about Stacks. After I asked that question, there are about 3 questions after me asking more about Stacks and CityCoins. And this was a Bitcoin meetup. They weren't Bitcoin maximalists because they talked about other projects, but this is a Bitcoin meetup, and they weren't as knowledgeable as you if you've been listening to this channel about the Stacks ecosystem. So I found that very interesting. And also, let me go back to the speaker list here before I move on. The final speaker for that event was Isaiah Jackson. He is the author of Bitcoin in Black America. He's actually been killing it on mainstream media the past couple of months. And he also has a YouTube channel. It's called Gentlemen of Crypto. He's live pretty much every day with his co-host, King Bless. Go follow that channel. A lot of good information there. But this piece of information took the cake for me. When Isaiah presented and he was talking about what he was doing, he mentioned Miami Coin and Stacks. Isaiah was just appointed by the mayor of Miami to be Miami Coin's project lead. Okay, let me repeat that again. Isaiah Bitcoin Zay is now Miami Coin's project lead appointed by the mayor. And he was talking with us. He said he's been in several meetings with the mayor. Right now, the mayor's entire focus is to make Miami tax free. And there's a pathway to do that throughout CityCoins. And he went on to say, not only is he working with Miami, but he had a meeting with the city of Detroit. And Detroit is on nobody's radar when we're talking about CityCoins. Of course, Austin is next. We have NYC Coin that's out. They're already working on a Los Angeles coin and also let me go back to the map here. Miami Coin and San Francisco Coin. But this is not just US based. These CityCoins are popping up all across the world. Look, they're talking to Rio. They're talking to, what's this? Lisbon, Portugal. I don't know what that is. What is that? Berlin. Cairo. I'm actually doing pretty good with these initials. I don't know what DXB is. Singapore. And we have Tokyo. And maybe this is Seoul. Maybe that's Seoul. But you see the map here. Do you realize what's going on? I know we spend a lot of time talking about CBDCs, right? Logic Sphere, and I'll get to your comment here in a second, but I hope you're still listening. Logic Sphere, CBDCs are behind, right? The first, I mean, if you look at Europe, and I've been going over these reports, Europe, Asian countries, America, they are so behind the technology. So now you have to step back and think, what are CBDCs really going to be used for? They're not going to be used for retail because these CityCoins are going to pop up. Because CBDCs cannot compete with CityCoins. CBDCs aren't going to give the city a Bitcoin yield. They cannot compete. Name me one government product that's better than a private sector product. They're not going to be able to keep up. The smartest people in cryptocurrency right now are not working for governments. So what are CBDCs going to be used? They're going to be so late to the scene that maybe CBDCs will majorly be used for cross-border payments. And if we think about cross-border payments right now, it's a drop in the bucket when we're talking about worldwide monetary system. So yeah, CBDCs will have their purpose, but they're not going to outpace Bitcoin. Look at all the development on top of Bitcoin. Are CBDCs even going to have smart contracts? These are the things we have to think about when we talk about game theory. And again, you know, the more activity on top of CityCoins means the more activity on top of Stacks, means the more activity and transactions on top of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is about to eat the global financial system. I'm not making this up. All right, let me go to the chat. Dr. Crypto says, untwist the game for him, bro. Harry Lime. Those ladies didn't respect your crypto jujitsu. Yeah, you know, because I'll tell you why, because there were a lot of stupid questions before me. And I don't think they really listened to what I said. Gene, wow, that's huge. Logic Sphere, eye emoji. Gene, Tokyo on the map. Yeah, it's worldwide. Now think, you are a governor or a mayor at a major city. You're running from re-election. Your competitor says, hey, I support eliminating taxes and giving citizens a Bitcoin yield. Who's going to win that election? You tell me, who's going to win the election? All right, Logic Sphere going off the Henny. I mean, I'm just feeling it right now because I see the future. Black Curls, where JP and Coolin at? Coolin was in here earlier. I haven't seen JP yet. Oh, there he is. Coolin, the world central banks are talking about CBDCs, not CityCoins go. Of course they are, because they don't have control over CityCoins. But y'all are giving too much power to these central banks. These are appointed people, appointed by politicians. What politician is going to make their citizens use a CBDC when they can use a CityCoin or any other decentralized coin and have more financial benefit? That politician will not be in power. It may take 5 or 10 years for that to happen, but this is the importance of Bitcoin because it takes the power out of central banks. We don't need them. And these central bank digital currencies are going to fail. They're going to fail. They're going to get hacked. They're going to be slow. They're going to go down. Someone's going to lose their life savings. And if you think about CBDCs, the only thing that they're going to do is accelerate the mismanagement of central banks because now they have more power to mismanage people's money. Coolin, no one over here gotten rid of taxes, though. That sounds crazy, bro. Hey, go Google Mayor Suarez, Florida, Miami. Listen to his past interviews. The city of Miami has already made, I believe it's $25 million just in a couple of months using mining for CityCoins. So imagine you get 10% of the city population to use the CityCoins. And if you listen to Mayor Suarez, he says it's already in the works. I mean, the people work, the CTO or the CIO, the Chief Information Officer of Miami, was at this Miami Coin event. All of the things he was talking about are already being put into motion. We're talking about discount on your taxes using CityCoins, discount on grocery stores using CityCoins, discounts on Miami Heat game tickets using CityCoins, discount on. Do you see what I'm saying? Are CBDCs going to give you a discount for using their coin? It's already happening, right? I'm not making this up. Coolin says central banks never lost. Yeah, they never lost before cryptocurrency. We're still thinking in the old mind frame. We're thinking in a legacy type of financial system. All that is over with. Coolin, Black Curls, he's sleeping. Gene, banks fund politics. No, yeah, they do. They fund politics, but you know what? And the CEO of Kraken has already said this, that they're forming super PACs, cryptocurrency super PACs. See, there's going to be this great migration, this great wealth transfer from people in power to people like you listening to these podcasts, listening to these talks, and getting your bags right. There's going to be a shift in wealth. There's going to be a shift in power. Politicians won't get reelected without 51% of their constituency voting for them. This changes everything. This changes politics. This changes banks. I mean, okay, let me stop. Gene says the money game is with the banks, though. It is now, not anymore. Right? I just showed you the market cap of Bitcoin is 1 trillion. The market cap of the largest banks in America is 1.3 trillion. Bitcoin has already won. It hasn't even geared up yet. There's not even mass adoption. Okay, Black Girls, pro banks in the chat right now. That's all right. I mean, I'm not mad at you. I'm open to different forms of opinions, but I really think you all need to think this out a little bit more. They're going to put people in jail if they don't use the CBDCs. We already see what's happening to countries that are keeping people out of restaurants because they don't have a freaking vaccine. This is a new era. All right, Harry Lime, by the time these CBDCs roll out, it will be too late. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. The development, the open source development is happening too fast. And yeah, Logic Sphere, Creole want the smoke. I want that smoke. Give me a heads up the next time you have your Patreon live, just so I can make sure I'm not doing anything when you're doing it. And we can blow that smoke back and forth, but they're too slow. They don't even have their current financial rails up to date to receive metadata. They're not going to keep up with open source software. We see Jack Dorsey putting out this Lightning developer toolkit. The development on top of Bitcoin in these decentralized protocols, open source protocols, is going to happen at a breakneck speed. CBDCs can't even agree which CBDC to use. They're fighting within themselves. Okay, and then, you know, a CBDC, these central banks, first they have to beat commercial banks before they can even step up to fight Bitcoin. All right, Coolin, you stand your ground, Creole. I like it. Logisphere, we play both grounds. Michelle URL, Mayor Francis Suarez not playing games. He is not, and neither is the governor of Florida. I just showed you news from the governor, what he's saying. He's working on giving citizens Bitcoin yield through the Miami coin, not XRP yield or any other coin. He's leading the charge with Bitcoin. Black Curl says, at least Creole agrees with y'all on Polkadot. Logic Fear, yeah, we're going to do that smoke. Coolin, welfare programs and government programs will force people to use CBDCs. Yeah, you are right. They will force that, but if you are buying Bitcoin, you won't need government programs. If you are investing your money into Bitcoin and decentralized projects, you won't need CBDCs. You won't need a government handout. All right, Logic Sphere, we can do it on YouTube. I want you guys to get monetized. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, let's set something up soon. I'll hit you up on Patreon, Logic Sphere. All right, I've rambled way too much. Black Curl says an economic crash and inflation will promote CBDCs too. Bro, what? Black Curls, let me talk to you. Let's talk about it. Why is there 6.8% inflation this past month? And that's a lowball CPI metric because of central banks mismanaging monetary policy. When they have CBDCs, they are going to screw up even more. They're going to print even more at will. It's like a CBDC isn't going to fix the broken systemic problem inside central banks. It's going to amplify it. All right, Gene, I totally agree about the shift and the gateway. Banks are closing the window for access. Yeah, they are. But closing the window for access for probably stable coins and centralized projects. Coin Holler says, sold my Polkadot bags for SNX. I think you might have meant STX. I don't know what SNX is. Coolin, most people on welfare right now are not buying BTC or any crypto, but I hear you, bro. I mean, welfare in America, right? But if you're looking at the worldwide cryptocurrency ecosystem, more people of color use cryptocurrencies. More underrepresented, represented and disenfranchised people worldwide are using cryptocurrencies. You look at Nigeria, right? The majority of their citizens use Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. You look at these places in Latin America, they are using it, right? Just because Americans aren't on it yet doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Coolin, that's what I'm saying. The sheep are going... Okay, Logisphere says the sheep are going to love the new and improved fiat. Yeah, they're going to love it until the central bank says... requires people to spend their money on certain things. Yeah, they're going to love it at first. I give you that. They're going to love it at first until they go on their app and the CBDC app, website app is down and they can't buy lunch. Right? They're going to love the app. They're going to love the fiat CBDCs so much until the CBDC says you can only spend X amount % of your wallet on healthcare costs, on housing. It's going to happen. The central banks aren't going to be able to help themselves. They're going to want to control every aspect of people's spending. Harry Lam, the real inflation rate is much higher. Yes, it is. It's a bomb coming. You're right. It is a bomb coming. Michelle URL, inflation is always worse than what they will say it is. Yeah, because of the metrics, right? The CPI index doesn't even include gas and food. And I think it doesn't even include housing. The three things people spend the most money on isn't even included in their metric to calculate inflation. Okay, Coin Holler says SNX is synthetics. Trading synthetic stocks, commodities on Ethereum. Grayscale bought bags of it. Okay. I'll look into... Actually, I've heard of that. Again... I'm not going to tell you what to do, Coin Hodler, but we're playing with fire. If we're investing on top of Ethereum right now, we're playing with fire, especially when it deals with stocks and commodities, because the SEC is coming. And what we saw the SEC do to Ripple's price is going to happen to Ethereum's ecosystem. And once the SEC comes after Ethereum, do you think a lot of those developers will wait for the SEC case to end, or will they start to move to projects that they know they can legally build on top of, like Stacks? I don't know. That's a question. I don't know the answer to that. Coolin says Nigeria just released their CBDC and they got over 1 million downloads. That is true, but I don't think it's really being used. I'll try to pull up an article that I found. Yeah, they got a lot of downloads, but it's not being used. Synthetics, okay. Black Curls, oh, yep, Coolin is agreeing with Black Curls. Black Curls, CBDCs aren't going to take much effort when the higher-ups are promoting it. Y'all, I agree with you all that people are going to use CBDCs. I agree that CBDCs will probably for some time be the largest form of payment in retail and other aspects of life. But what I'm telling you is they're going to be centralized. They're going to have very few nodes. They're going to get hacked. They're going to go down. None of those things are going to happen to Bitcoin. Kathy Wood just said buy more Ethereum. Of course she did, because she has bags of it. And she really, I've got nothing bad to say about Kathy Wood, but if you listen to her interviews, she really doesn't understand the technical aspects of cryptocurrency as well as she probably should, but she does have a team doing all that research. Dr. Crypto says S and X is legit, but forget about those gas fees moving it. Logic Fish says Tether is on Ethereum. Yeah. Hey, bro. I mean, stablecoin enemy number one right now is Tether. Across the world, they're definitely going to go after it. And they may use Ethereum to do that. But you also have to remember Tether is on 12 different blockchains too. So they can pivot and play ring around the rosy with regulators for quite some time. Black Curl says Kathy Wood has that Midas touch. Yes, she does. Gene LOL emoji. Harry Lime. The SEC has already said they are coming after synthetics. See, there you go. So what's going to happen? And again, you just have to think these things out. You're a developer on top of a developer on synthetics. The SEC sues your CEO. You going to keep working for that company? I'm just asking. All right, Harry Lime, the SEC. Okay, I already said that. Michelle URL, Indigo on Cardano is working on synthetic stocks, etc. Cool and LOL. All right, I've spent enough time on the chat. Let me go into this next segment here, and I'm going to spend so much time there. I'm going to try to make this quick. Give me 1 second.
Shot up everywhere they would. Yeah, you know who took this shit from you. Come get it back in blood. Bitch, come get it back in blood. We ain't mask up, no Dodge rigs, niggas know who it was.
All right, let me go to the next segment here. And then I'm going to go into the Bitcoin Idiot of the Week, and I'm going to close it out. Dr. Crypto and I were talking about this project actually today. It's called Theopetra, okay? This is a protocol that provides self-repaying mortgages. So imagine getting a mortgage using this protocol, and it pays for the loan. Hey, Logic Sphere, Cool and Black Curls, you think a CBDC gonna do that? This is what I'm saying. The private sector, the open source developers are going to outpay CBDCs. And the people are going to choose. They're going to pick their wallet. Okay? Let's just move on. This is actually an extensive article. I'm just going to point out a couple things here. I'll leave the link in the description. I'll probably post all that in about an hour. Let's move into it. The self-repaying mortgage. A monthly rebate to homeowners. Negative interest rates and a 2% down payment. You pay everything in US dollars. Do I have your attention? Good. And this is what I'm talking about, the development of the ecosystem and the products and services, okay? And it doesn't say it in this article, but this is built on top of Stacks. Okay, at Theopetra, we've thought long and hard about this issue. How do you solve the housing crisis? Is it even possible to do without raising taxes or handing out stimulus checks? Our founder, Anand, has explored numerous variations, including ways to apply Bitcoin mining to housing. Even more, how do you solve this dilemma so that everyone wins and nobody has to use complicated cryptocurrency transactions? Theopetra solves the home ownership debt dilemma. No more gambling with people's lives or property with the world's first self-repaying mortgage. We structured the mortgage to grant you the key components of home ownership while allowing Theopetra to control the debt of the property. Specifically, as a homeowner, you have unlimited rights and a fixed payment for 20 to 30 years so that you can build equity and gain appreciation in the home. During this time, Theopetra controls the debt on the property, earning a return on it every year to significantly decrease costs of home ownerships. So just a step back here. When you get a mortgage is debt. Who owns that debt? Banks. What do banks do with that debt? They make money off of it. So this protocol, it says, hey, we're going to control your debt. We're going to make money off of it. Then we're going to give the money back to you. It's a self-repaying mortgage loan. Okay, let's move on. On December 13th, we're releasing an NFT that acts as a key to this self-repaying mortgage. Staking your NFT will allow you to jump the line and claim it. This NFT will be the first of its kind. You don't have to hope your pixelated animal will moon. A self-repaying mortgage NFT already has the most utility in the entire space. Stay vigilant. Okay, and so this is going to be released to the public on December 13th, but Dr. Crypto, person in the UTG community, was on the whitelist, so he was able to get us a couple of these NFTs before they were even released. But again, this is a long article. Let me just pick out the highlights. Okay, so let's just move to how. All right, I know that's all on your minds. Self-repaying mortgages. They function exactly as they sound, merging the best benefits that crypto and real estate offer. These will be the crux of the real estate in Web 3.0 world, so read all of the following to ensure your understanding. Okay, self-repaying mortgages. Again, I'm just going to start with the highlights. You can do your own research on this. To start, let's take a step back. How do you normally acquire a home? You find a real estate agent, you go to the bank and get approved for a loan, and you search for the home within your price range. Theopetra streamlines this process. You will simply apply through one of our national approved partners and undergo the same steps as above. The difference: banks take an average of 47 days to close their loan. Theopetra will close as soon as 5 days and provide a cash offer for the house. A CBDC going to do that? LogicSphere? All right. They can buy anything they want. Condos, single-family homes, 1 to 4 unit buildings, as long as they follow the standard underwriting guidelines as FHA loans. Now, closer to closing, the customer will sign a 99-year home ownership guarantee with Theopetra. This guarantee entails a 30-year standard payment plan and will ensure the homeowner has unlimited rights to the home. They can sell the property at any time, pass it on to their kids, renovate it, do anything they want, just like any other homeowner. The only exception to this rule, subleases and cash-out refinances, considering they would allow or would go against Theopetra's values and enable property owners to profit by renting to others. So that's nice. Okay, many of the homeowners' costs will remain the same. They will also be responsible for their own taxes, utilities, and insurance. However, Theopetra will waive the loan origination fees, allowing us to eventually offer a negative interest rate and down payments of 2%. Got a little graphic here. I'm going to move on. Under this guarantee, the protocol is guaranteed to never sell your asset. In the case that Theopetra defaults, the homeowner can assume the fixed mortgage, or they can buy the home directly from Theopetra with the current equity position. Okay, so I think you kind of get the idea here. Again, they go into some very deep details here. I've gone over my time, so let me just move on to the quick frequently asked questions. Will this come to every state? Yes, it eventually will be in every state. When is the self-repaying mortgage launching? In 2022, we will test around 5 mortgages at first. Then they talk about NFTs and whatnot there. Okay, so I just wanted to bring that up to your attention, that when I talk about products and services and development, it's about to skyrocket. All right, I've got the white paper up here. The white paper is very thin. It's only 3 pages, so Don't go jumping into this project. Let's see how they develop over the years. Let's see how well they do with the first 5 mortgages. And there is a token. There is a Theo token involved there. So keep that on your mind. Theopetra, built on top of Stacks, and they also have an Ethereum version of the token. But there you go. You know, just another example of how governmental cryptocurrencies aren't going to be able to keep up with the technology. Okay, let's go ahead. Let me go to the chat, and then I'm going to go to the Bitcoin Idiot of the Week, and I'm going to close it out. Okay, the Logic Sphere. Okay, Black Curl says they're choosing security, not decentralization. Yes. Wait, let me go back up. I missed some comments. Gene says, I don't like the outcome as well, but since 1913, the writing has been on the wall. I think he's talking about, not for sure. Harry Lime, Theopetra, now we're talking. Black Curls, they're choosing security, not decentralization. Yes, they are now. But if you want to be a successful investor in cryptocurrency space, you have to see where the puck is going, not what people are doing now. If you invest in what people are investing in now, you're going to get wrecked. All right, the Logic Sphere. The people not choosing anything unregulated, they won't be able to, the on and off ramps on crypto will be CBDC. I mean, that is a game theory that would play out, that maybe in the future the only way you could buy cryptocurrency is to use a CBDC, but nobody's going to be holding CBDCs. Right? Nobody is going to have their wealth in CBDCs. Right? People are going to use CBDCs as a method of payment. It's not going to be a store of value. And that's the gameplay. We have to invest where the wealth is going to be held. It's not going to be CBDCs. Coolin says that's tomorrow. Logisphere, y'all too exclusive. XDC has done trade finance with NFTs too. Okay, I didn't know that. And if you're new to the channel, go follow the Logic Sphere. He really talks about the banks with the tanks. I love his content. Go follow him. He keeps up to date with a lot of things when we're talking about NFTs and CBDCs. Okay, Black Curl says we're taking Creole's focus off the stream, making him go OT on this stream. Hey, it's not about what I want to talk about. It's about what you want to talk about. So I'm okay spending time on the stream. Harry Lime says, you know, he's going to smoke as soon as the stream ends, if not before. You know, we'll see. Okay, I've caught up with the with the chat. Let's go into the segment of what I like to call the Bitcoin Idiot of the Week. I'm going to change the music up this week, so.
In the criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. These are their stories.
All right. This is the last segment of the evening, the Bitcoin Idiot of the Week. And this past week, we had a congressional hearing. And actually, this congressional hearing went a lot better than the past hearings in the past. Except this one congressman. He still just does not get it. This Bitcoin Clown of the Week goes to Mr. Brad Sherman of California. Let's just play this clip.
Also the chair of the Subcommittee on Investor Protection, Entrepreneurship, and Capital Markets, is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Crypto is many different things. Cryptocurrency is an incredibly volatile investment that aspires to be a currency that might displace or at least compete with the dollar. A stable coin aspires to be incredibly stable and is tied to the dollar. What they share is a culture, a vibe, a stick-it-to-the-man moniker, a belief that somehow this is new and hip and an attack on the powers of society. But the fact is that the advocates of crypto represent the powers in our society. The powers in our society on Wall Street and in Washington have spent millions and are trying to make billions or trillions in the crypto world. These include Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Visa, BlackRock, Citadel, Musk, and Zuckerberg. Not to mention the CEOs that are before us here today. Everyone before us today is a crypto advocate. We will at some point hear from the crypto critics. We won't hear from CEOs. We'll hear from academics with their pencils and pens. Today we hear from the CEOs with their lobbyists, their PACs, and their power. And we wonder why we won't be able to protect investors. The regulators need to listen to this hearing very carefully. With all the money and power on one side, we will not be able to pass meaningful legislation. Don't cop out and say, well, you're not going to do anything until we pass meaningful legislation. And if you wonder about where the power is, Zuckerberg had to come here himself and sit there. Brian Armstrong sent his number 2. And Tether doesn't bother to show up at all. Zuckerberg did not have a day in the park. He did not enjoy it, but he had to come. Armstrong didn't, and Tether ain't here at all. Now, the number one threat to cryptocurrency is crypto. Bitcoin could be displaced by Ether, which could be displaced by Dodge, which could be displaced by Hamster Coin. And then there's Cobra Coin. And what could Mongoose Coin do to crypto coin?
Mongoose.
In the area of fiat currency, the dollar will always be more important than the Uruguayan peso, and the Uruguayan peso is not a joke. There will always be an Uruguay, and the Uruguayan peso will always have some value. Will Mongoose Coin always have a value? I don't know. I just made it up. It's a joke. Although I said that about Hamster Coin, and then I found out there really was a Hamster Coin. It's not fair to compare fiat currency's current system to what cryptocurrencies aspire to be. It is true. You try to use a credit card or debit card to buy a sandwich today, the system takes 1%, 0.5%, 50 cents away from the merchant. You try to use crypto to buy a sandwich today, I don't know where you can go in Washington to use a Bitcoin to buy a sandwich. Can't be done at all.
Yes,
but
it can.
someday.
Yeah, I
so
did it last week.
Compared to what we hope crypto can do to the problems that we face with fiat currencies now, that's not a fair comparison. Now, looking at Ms. Haas from Coinbase, if I take $100 on your exchange, buy some Bitcoin, and then a couple days later, say Bitcoin happens to be selling at the exact same price, I sell it. It's my understanding that I get $94.02 back. Am I wrong?
We have multiple products, and it would depend on the
yes or
product.
no? Would I get, in that exact transaction, $94.02 back? Am I wrong?
I can't answer the question. It depends on the product.
Okay. Are there products where I'd be right?
Yes.
There is a product where you'd be right.
Okay, so I could lose $6 in 2 days. What about Tether? Buy $100 worth of Tether, 2 days later, sell $100 worth of Tether, or sell the Tether. Could I lose $6?
Yes.
Okay. Let's turn to
Technically
Mr.
4.
What?
It's a 2% charge.
A 2% charge. I thought it would be a 3% charge. It's $2.99 last time I was on your site.
No.
Okay. I'm looking at Coinbase fee, $2.99 on USTD. We'll put this in the record. In any case, to lose even 2%, let alone 3%, and then another 2 or 3% on the way out in scarcely a couple of days, that's well over 1,000% interest lost. in that period of time. Mr. Allaire,
1,000% interest
is
loss.
your reserves all in instruments that yield less than 1/10%?
That is correct.
Then how do you pay 1% interest on some deposits?
We don't pay interest on deposits.
And yet you have a deal with, my time has expired.
Yeah, Saved
Thank
by
you
the
very
Bell.
much. The gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Laudermilk, is recognized for
Saved
5
by
minutes.
the Bell. Saved by the Bell. So I'm not even going to get into why he is so incorrect on so many points, but I did want to talk about this. So is there a Mongoose coin? Yes. There is a Mongoose coin that was created shortly after the highly intelligent and thoughtful Brad Sherman testimony. Okay, I mean, it's obviously a complete joke. Let's look at the total supply here. Million. So that's a million. So we've got 69,000 millions of a total supply. Okay, it's on Ethereum because, of course. It's even got a website. Let's pull that up. It's got a website, but look at this. Already, it's up, 39% the past 24 hours. The past 24 hours, it's had about $5 million worth of trading volume, and that's actually gone down. So I understand the point that the congressman is trying to make, that all cryptocurrency is not valid because it's a joke, right? And that's the whole point of cryptocurrency, is that anyone on earth can create a coin at any moment in time. That is the financial freedom that cryptocurrency provides to us. And this is why on this channel we tell you to stay away from investing in the meme coins like Doge and Shibu, because there are going to be 1 million different meme coins within the coming years. Our grandchildren are going to have their own meme coins that you have to pay them so they can go and buy lunch at school. There's going to be an infinite amount of meme coins. But that's the beauty of cryptocurrency. So you have to be knowledgeable in when you're investing in things like this. So, I mean, somebody just made 40% off of their money. It's probably not going to be you. So I wouldn't go and jump into this project. But this just goes to show you the flexibility that cryptocurrency has. You know, it's... I really can't say anymore. But one thing I did want to bring up is on Twitter, Crypto Bitlord posted this tweet. And I'm going to pull it up for you, and I am actually going to play it for you because it's just so hilarious. We're going to let that load. Let me go back to the chat. I mean, if you were listening to that speech, tell me something he just completely got wrong, because it was pretty much everything. So many LOLs. Harry Lime says, you know he's gonna... Okay, I already read that. The Logic Sphere, don't go to my channel. Stay over here. Trust me. No. No, you want to go over to the Logic Sphere channel, and you want to join his Patreon, okay? Because that's where all the good information is, his Patreon and his Telegram group, all right? Don't let the YouTube videos fool you. He knows what he's talking about. Black Curls, he was going stupid during that conference. Yes, he was. Brooks was setting the record straight, though. Gene says, hip, Ripple Rick, all in on Mongoose coin. Hey, you know, if you were in and out, or if you were the person who created that coin, you made a lot of money. And that's the beauty about cryptocurrency. If you have a really good idea, you can make some money. If it's over a joke, if it's over anything, you will be able to make some money. but you got to be quick to the punch. GX Gaming, what's up? He says LOL. Black Curls, Boomer Coin, Michelle URL, Clown Faces. Yep, it's really insane. Harry Lime says 1,000%, some good math there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could only lose 100% of your money. I don't know, maybe you can go into debt. But I don't know any DeFi protocols that take more than what you have. Yeah, let's stick it to the man as a man. I'm okay with that. Charlie Munger was a clown the last week too. Yes, I was gonna showcase Charlie Munger last week, but I was traveling, did not get a chance to. All right, I'm gonna round this stream off with something, I don't know, I thought it was hilarious. Maybe you will too. And I'm gonna hope the sound plays. So we're gonna see. And again, go join Crypto Bitlord on Twitter. He puts out some really funny content. But he posted this. He said, watch this and join the Mongoose coin. And really, he probably was the one who created this. Let me start this video over.
Coin is a culture, a vibe, a stick-it-to-the-man moniker. This is new and hip and an attack on the powers of society.
I feel like a mongoose. I'm eating a snake. Me and my squad loose, and we ready to eat. Feeling like mongoose is a stand that we take against the government coming and fucking with everything that we work to create. Mongoose to the fucking moon. Seen the future, so I know it's true. Rocket ship still loading up, but not for long. The ship is leaving soon. Let me tell you what you need to do. Buy a bunch and don't cheat it. Guarantee you in a month's time you'll appreciate how your money grew. Shout out to Brad, creating a movement for real. You demand. Mongoose is Congress approved, pretty rad. More than a movement, more than a brand, more than a wave. It's more than a fad. This is our chance to stick it to demand. Mongoose is forming, get in while you can. I speak for the people, we taking a stand. Like a mongoose, I'm eating a snake. Me and my squad loose, and we ready to eat. I'm feeling like mongoose. It's a stand that we take against the government coming and fucking with everything that we work to create. I feel like a mongoose. I'm eating a snake.
This shit kind of go hard though.
And we ready to eat. Feeling like mongoose. It's a stand that we take against the government coming and fucking with everything that we work to create. Moon mission been activated. If you win now, you already made it. Once we get to 1 billion, party on the yacht and get fucking faded. Paper hands get wrecked and hated. Diamond hands stay celebrating. Pay no mind to the copycats. If you're not with Goose, you ain't gonna make it. Look at us, we on the news. I'm long and among Congress approves, writing a song, catching the groove, buying the dip. You know how we do. Straight to the moon, then on to Mars. Sherman the captain, I'm rapping the bars. Brad is a Chad, he taking us far. Let's put a mongoose up in the stars. Like a mongoose, I'm eating a snake.
I'm eating a snake, y'all.
And we ready to eat. I'm feeling like mongoose. It's a stand that we take against the government coming and fucking with everything that we work to create. I feel like a mongoose.
Okay. All right, I just thought that was hilarious. Again, Crypto Bitlord there. Let me go to the chat one last time, and I'm gonna end the stream out. Okay. All right, anyone out there want to talk to me before I close out? Black Crows, he doesn't deserve this hard beat. You know, that's funny. That's the future we're gonna move into. You know, people never want to get memed, their face memed, but imagine getting blockchained. Something stupid you said creates a whole coin that's on the blockchain forever. That's pretty insane, huh? All right. Okay. I'm probably going to close it out here shortly. I think I've been on here way too long. I've been talking to y'all 2 hours. If you want to get in touch with me, of course, join the Discord. It's in the solo.2 or .me link in the description. Come back to this video in about 30 minutes to an hour. I will have timestamps throughout. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I'm going to try to be back again next week. I've just been traveling so much, but I try to make time to put this together for you. So show me some appreciation. Push the like button or not. Subscribe or not. All right, with that, I will play one more track. I really don't even know what this track is, but if it's trash, I'll go on to the next one. Dr. Crypto, let's get this Merry Christmas pump. Oh yeah, it's coming. We may dip down lower. Look at the order book. You see those thick red lines? The market makers. Hey y'all, we might dip down to 46,000 this week. Look at all those Bitcoins. Look at that thick horizontal red line on the market book. Or the book map. That's a lot of Bitcoin sitting right there for the market maker to go down and liquidate it all. We are not in a bear market though. Let the market maker do his thing. A man from day one, what's up? Shout out to the community. I'll watch the replay. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and do some timestamps. I'm gonna go grab a bite to eat first. Gene says deuces, deuces. Oh, look at that! Look at this red volume right here. Oh yeah. Well, mark my words, the market makers may drop this hoe down to 46,000. When the pimp's in the crib, ma, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot. When the pigs try to get at you, park it like it's hot, park it like it's hot, park it like it's hot. And if a get an attitude. Hey, Black Curls, I'm gonna reach out to you. Let's do that airdrop episode. I'm gonna do some testing on the back end.
I'm a gangster, but y'all knew that. The big boss dog, yeah, I had to do that. I keep a blue flag hanging out my backside, but only on the left side. Yeah, that's the Crip side. Ain't no other way to play the game the way I play. I cut so much you thought I was a DJ. 2, yippee, 1, yep, 3. SC and double OP, D go double G. I can't fake it, just break it. And when I take it, see, I specialize in making all the girls get naked. So bring your friends, all of y'all come inside. We got a world premiere right here, now get live. So don't change the diesel, turn it up a little. I got a living room full of fine dime bristles, waiting on the vessels.
Let's zoom out a little bit on this book map. And again, you know, ooh, another thick red line down at 42 and 43. So, I mean, the market sentiment right now is that we're going to go a little bit lower, but the market makers are in control. So if you're looking at this book map right here, this is imbalanced. Market makers hate imbalanced book maps, limit orders. Maybe we retest this 46, 43. Maybe, but keep in mind, every second of every day, these orders are deleted, moved around, and right now in cryptocurrency, it's actually legal for market makers to spoof. What does spoofing mean? Spoofing means setting up limit orders. Like there's almost 600 Bitcoins right here at 46,000. You know, you can set that order there and delete it at any time. So what market makers like to do, they love to set these horizontal lines to fake out retail, right? They spoof the books and then they'll delete it, and then maybe they'll put some limit orders a little higher. Hey, I don't make the rules. All right, looks like we have a couple people trickling in. I may hang around a little bit longer. I've got pulled up on the screen. It's called a book map. You can go to bookmap.com and download this for free. It shows you where the orders are.
He was a good cat, my bad dog. Don't put no K after that B, boy. Bad call, that's flag talk. Fuck around and knock your flag off. I had to. I wore a gap before a tattoo. I had to.
And this is real time. This is a real-time book map. Actually, what you're looking at is just the orders on Binance. If you upgrade the free version, you can put additional exchanges on it. Kraken may be different. Coinbase may be different. I like to follow Binance because it's the largest exchange in the world. Let's see what Asia does. The Asia markets are starting to take over. Are they going to stay in the zone? Nobody knows. If anyone tells you they know what Bitcoin price is going to do, they're lying to you. All we can do is look at the orders and anticipate where the market makers will take the price. They want all of your Bitcoin. While the price is falling, they're building longs. While the price of Bitcoin is falling, market makers are in control because they're selling you their Bitcoin. They're adding liquidity to the Bitcoin pair. Market makers are in control. Hey, you can't sell anything if nobody buys it, right? You can't buy anything if nobody sells it. What retail does is the opposite of what the market makers are doing. While the price is going down, market makers are buying because you're selling. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope everyone has a lovely evening. I'm going to try to be back with you next Sunday. If it looks like I won't be available next Sunday, I'm going to try to go live about a couple projects I've been following throughout the week. With that, what happens next is up to you. Good night.